I'm just going to take a moment or two to talk to you about the fingerpicking style called Travis picking. One of the most important and most valuable fingerpicking patterns that you can learn. This is the fingerpicking pattern where the thumb will alternate between two bass notes whilst the fingers play either an accompaniment or a melody around it. Let's grab a normal G chord as an example. And with Travis picking, the thumb is going to alternate between the root note of the chord, that is the note that has the same name as the chord. On a G chord, that's on the 6th string, and it'll alternate with the 4th string. Whatever the root note is for the chord, followed by the 4th string. And the key thing in Travis picking is the rhythm. That rhythm must go strictly 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever speed the music is, your thumb acts like a drummer and bass player combined. It has to lay down the rhythm and that rocking alternating bass line. I'll talk to you about the different root notes in a moment, just in case you don't know them. But if you want to practice Travis picking, first of all, number one, we're just going to do this on a G chord for now. Get familiar with the thumb doing that. When you can do that pretty easily, and it won't take very long to get that far, try this. Pinch the 6th string and the 1st string, and then play another bar. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep doing that. I use the ring finger to play the first string, middle finger to play the 2nd, index finger to play the 3rd. But don't worry too much about that. That's recommended technique, but there are plenty of players who use only 2 fingers, and even some who use only thumb and 1 finger. So, get familiar with that. When you can do that, we're going to try and put in a bass note, a finger note rather, on the 2nd string note, in between the thumb note on the 4th string and when it comes back to the 6th string, like this. Can you see what's happening there? Pinching 6 and 1, 4, 2, 6, 4. Pinch, 4, 2, 6, 4. Notice that the bass is still keeping its relentless rhythm. We can speed that up. Now we're playing something that begins to sound like a Travis picking accompaniment. Once we can play that, let's try putting 2 notes in between bass notes. This time we're going to play strings 2 and 3, and I'm going to put them after every bass note, in between bass notes, but alternating 2nd string to 3rd string, like this. 6, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3, and on like that. Okay, try practicing all those patterns, bringing them up to speed as well, up to, as fast as you can comfortably do them. Never go faster than you can comfortably play them, but... Travis picking works at every speed. Now let's try doing that and putting a pinch in as well. Here I'm going. 6, 2, 4, 3, pinch, 4. 6, 2, 4, 3, pinch, and the pinch is 6 and 1. Now that brings us to the most important point about Travis picking, which is that you will only ever, with the fingers, either pinch with a bass note or put 1 note in between bass notes. If you ever find yourself putting more than 1 note between bass notes, then something's gone wrong with your pattern. You can have no notes in between bass notes, but still that doesn't change the relentless rhythm of the bass. Okay? So your options are no notes in between bass notes, pinching a finger note with a bass note, or putting one, but only one, finger note in between bass notes. And the second part of this point that I want to make is that it doesn't matter what notes you put in between bass notes. As long as you're holding the correct chord shape down, any of the notes on strings 3, 2 and 1 will sound good. So what I just played then, I couldn't even tell you now what I played. I was randomly picking various notes out of a G chord, either pinching them with a bass note or putting them in between the bass notes. The key to learning Travis picking is to get your thumb to begin to act automatically. You'll find that it becomes much easier to put the finger notes in when you begin to forget about your thumb. Your thumb just begins to automatically do that, and that's just a practice thing. So, all that remains for us to do is to, well, first of all, to say that whenever you have a Travis picking accompaniment to a song, you can do exactly what we just said. You can put any finger notes in between the bass notes, regardless of what the tab says or anything else. If it's an accompaniment to a song, any finger notes will sound good, provided your bass is setting up the relentless rhythm. Okay, that's a very important point because it opens up all kinds of finger picking songs, such as, for example, The Boxer. I am just a poor boy, though my streets of London. Don't worry about exactly what I'm picking there. You could play any finger combination as long as you've got the right chord and your bass is acting correctly, you'll be fine. So all that remains for us to do is to look at which bass notes belong to which chords. Let's do these in order. So we'll start with the alphabet. We'll start with A, and your A family chords, the most common ones are going to be A minor, A7. They all act the same way. Your root note is the 5th string. So you're going to rock 5, 4, 5, 4. B's a little bit trickier because B, of course, has a lot of bar chords. B major and B minor are both bar chords. B7 we can play without a bar chord. If you are already playing bar chords, your B and B minor have exactly the same bass note as B7. It's the 5th string. So we'll rock 5, 4, 5, 4. C family chords, C, C7, C minor. 5th string is your root note, so we'll rock 5, 4, 5, 4. Like, for example, in Streets of London. And The Boxer, as it happens. D family chords are a little bit different. The problem with D is that our root note is the 4th string. So we can't rock something to 4 because our root note is 4. So here are your choices. You can rock 4, 3, 4, 3 and give yourself just 2 strings for the fingers. That's okay. Other times players will do one of two things. Either hook the thumb over on the 6th string 2nd fret and have the bass rock 6, 4, 6, 4. That's very common. Finally, the other option, which is less common, but the old blues guys used to use it a lot, is to rock 5, 4, 5, 4 on a D chord. Whichever of those three you like, you can go with. E chords, E, E7, E minor. 6th string is your root note. 6, 4, 6, 4 on the bass. F chords, it depends how you play F. Let's assume you're playing F this way. Again, we have a 4th string root note here, so exactly the same thing applies as applied for D. We can go 4, 3, 4, 3 and give ourselves just 2 finger notes. And Or you might be playing F a different way, either by hooking the thumb over at the first fret. If you do that, you can go 6, 4, 6, 4. Or maybe you're playing it as a bar chord, in which case you can also go 6, 4, 6, 4. And finally G, G7, G minor, although it's a bar chord. We saw earlier on that we're going to go 6, 4, 6, 4. And really that's all you need to know to get started with what is really going to be the most valuable fingerpicking pattern that you'll ever learn, Travis picking. Enjoy it.